Hi guys, my name is Sam. Welcome back to my channel. Today I have for you TBR Tournament episode number 4. I actually cannot believe we're on episode number 4, and I'm really excited for this one because I'm going to be playing an amazing creator and friend of mine's game this round. That is Silvia from Library Unbounded. She has a game called Lord of the Reeds. It's really dope. Go check it out. I'll link all her information down below. But she also has in her links for her TBR videos a printable and digital version of the game. So it's really cool. Like, she put a lot of work and effort into this, and the fact that I can play it as the board game digitally is just so dope. So I'm excited to get into it. And I picked this one for this round because she has a couple of prompts on there of genres that I don't typically read, that I actually have books out for from the library to use. So I figured this would be the perfect month for this. And if you don't know what TBR Tournament is, I'll link the vlog playlist down below. But it's basically a vlog series that I do here on my channel where I play someone else's TBR game for a week for 3 books. I have to read the 3 books within the week's time span, or I add a spin to my monthly TBR game. And the only rules are that I only get 1 book at a time, and DNFs do not count. So I am going to start screen recording. I'm going to move over as much as I can because I don't know how much space the board takes, but I have it open. Let me start screen recording. So this is what the game looks like. It's called The Lord of the Reeds, like I said. I'm just going to click play, and it has already started me off in that little corner. If you see that little bouncing diamond, she has a link to a dice. So I'm going to click that link, and then we can just go back to the board afterwards. She uses 2 6-sided die, so I'm going to just use a 12. Obviously, doubles and the rules that she has for her game are not going to count for this because I'm only playing it for a week. So the 12-sided die should be fine. And we're going to go ahead and do our first roll and see what book we'll be reading first this week. A 10. So let me go back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That lands me on prompt cards. She goes counterclockwise. That's why I went that way. As you can see in the middle, the prompt cards pop up, and she even has, like, everything is hyperlinked. So we're going to click this little play button here and see what prompt we get. And then we're going to cross-reference to the list of prompts. Number 50. Okay, let's go back and see what is number 50. Steal a book from someone else's TBR. Okay, give me a couple minutes to think about this and see what I'll be reading. Okay, so I finally made a decision. You don't know how long that took me, but it did take me a while because I feel like since it's steal a book from someone else's TBR, I shouldn't be picking a book from someone else's TBR that I already have on my TBR, because a lot of my friends and I have overlapping reads this month. So I went ahead and decided to steal from Nikki. She is planning to pick up The Predator by Runix this month, and all my friends have been buzzing about this book, and I really want to see what the hype is about. I don't normally pick up dark romances just off of the strength that I don't check trigger warnings for the most part, so sometimes I'm scared to go into them and be traumatized. But all my friends love this book, and you know, I have dabbled in mafia romances, something light, so I think that I'll be fine. And at the end of the day, y'all know how I do. If I need to DNF it, I will and restart. But I have very high hopes for this one because they love it. Like, what do you mean? That's all I need to know. But I'll check back in when I've started and let you guys know how it's going. Okay guys, so it is Tuesday morning. I'm about to continue reading The Predator. I did get 100 pages in last night, and I had a couple thoughts that I wanted to discuss before I continued and forgot what I had to say. I am enjoying it, and the darkness is definitely not as dark as I thought it was going to be. A lot of people, you know, tend to tell you check triggers and it gets very dark and things like that, and I know for good reason, but sometimes that tends to scare me because I go into a lot of books blind. So I was like amping it up to be something potentially traumatizing. Obviously, I still have ways to go in the book and that could happen, but as of right now, I think I'm in the clear and I'm okay with where it's at. Hopefully I didn't speak too soon. But yeah, definitely not as dark as I expected going in. However, there is something that is thoroughly bothering me, and that's because in the author's note, the author talks about the female main character Marana and says that she has a very high IQ, and so a lot of things that she does or says might be repeated because she finds them fascinating and she's like a very big observer. But if she has a high IQ, why is she so dumb? Like, she keeps putting herself in situations that I feel like someone who is meticulous about the way they're observing things should know better than to be in. For example, the book starts off with her on a mission of sorts that she put herself in because she has to retrieve something that she lost, with no backup, no security, and no one even knows that she's there. Also, she doesn't even know what she's doing. Like, are you from the mob even?
Are you from New York even? Yeah. Are you from New York even? Do you have a big black puffer jacket even?
You come to find out later on that her father doesn't allow her to be a part of the activities. She just knows of what he does and, you know, his daily life, but she's not in the scene. So for that reason, it doesn't make sense to me that you would decide to go on a mission as opposed to telling somebody. It don't have to be your father, because it seems to me that she's scared of him, but somebody needs to know you need some type of backup. And the dangerous activity continues. Like, she ends up in the enemy's bar, and there's a scene where she's going to the bar to get a drink, and she looks at the bartender and she's like, yeah, I'm not gonna get a drink from him, I have bad feelings, but then proceeds to get an orange juice. Just because you're not getting liquor doesn't mean you can't get spiked. So the math is not mathing. Also, after she's drugged, one of the people from the club start to drive her home, and she doesn't want to go home while she's in this state. So she tells her to pull over, and she's like, you know, gonna stay in the middle of nowhere with no protection after she just got drugged. Girl, you're doing shit that makes no sense. Another scene, she went to a warehouse to meet up with her ex-boyfriend, who she knew was the reason that she lost the thing that she lost, and said this could be a trap, but still pulled up. Why do you keep doing these things? Like, moron is correct. Like, her name is not making it no better, because I just keep thinking, like, girl, what's going on? The gag is, though, I'm still enjoying the book and I still want to read it and I still, you know, eating it up, but I'm just frustrated with Marana. Like, she's not. Where's the IQ? The IQ's not IQing. Side note to that, I just want to say that I know I speak very slang forward, and I apologize thoroughly about that. I don't know how to change that. Like, that's just how I speak when I'm comfortable. And being that this is my channel and I'm essentially talking to myself, obviously I'm comfortable. So, and I know that all my friends like think it's really funny, like the commentary that I put together. So if the way that I talk bothers you, I really apologize for that and I'm sorry. But anyways, I'm about to continue. I just wanted to rant about this girl real quick. Hopefully she gets it together, and hopefully I'm not talking out of my ass and her IQ is IQing and she knows she got some schemes going on in the background, but I don't think that's the case. Anyways, I'll come back with another update when I get maybe 50% of the way in. Guys, it's Thursday. Yeah, I didn't update you guys yesterday because I had the migraine of a lifetime and I was out for the count, but I did finish The Predator just now. I don't know where I land on it. I'm sitting somewhere between a 3.5 and a 4 because it was very wordy. And I know the author said, oh, she might repeat a lot of things because she was fascinated by them and her IQ is high, blah, blah, blah. But it wasn't even wordy in that way. Like, it didn't bother me that she was being observant. It was just too long. Like, it was boring. Like, the beginning was good, the end was good, the middle was just muddled for me. And also, she continued on with the fuckery of putting herself in situations that didn't make no sense for somebody who was supposed to be super smart and know what they're doing. And it also ended on a cliffhanger, and the fact that I'm not fiending to pick up the next book is also a big indicator that it just wasn't all that to me. But like I said, 3.5 to a 4. I'm going to sit with it for a little while and see what I decide. But I do have the board open up here so we can go ahead and pick the next read. I'm going to try to get an audiobook on here or something short because I want to win. Like, next month is May, which is my birthday month. And even if I wanted to do extra spins for my birthday month, because I might just for the fun of it, I want to at least say that I won this so that this is not a reason that I have to do an extra spin. For some reason, it's not letting the dice show up after I move it back to where we were, because obviously, since it's been days, I have to reset the board every time. So I'm just going to roll the dice first and then fix our spot on the board. So let's go ahead and roll a 3. So let's go back. We were here before. So 3 from that, 1, 2, 3 is 2023 TBR jar. Obviously for me, mine is just a cumulative jar, but let me go ahead and pull that out. Here's my jar. I'm very nervous about this. I actually haven't updated it, so there are a couple titles that are not in here, even though I have them written down. I just haven't had the time to, you know, cut them and put them in, but that's okay. Listen, putting my hand in here regardless is scary. So let's go ahead and see. I'm trying to pick one from the bottom, even though that might not be a good thing because it's going to be an older title maybe. Let's see. Hopefully it's something I can do on audio. Okay, we got Twisted Hate by Anna Huang, and I know this might be cheating, but I'm actually going to put that back because this Winnie Readers are doing a read along for that series next month, so I'm not going to read it right now when I'm going to read it next month. Let's pick another one. Ooh, so many are falling out. I'm scared. I'm so scared. Oh no. Okay. I got Staying Strong by Demi Lovato. This is on my These Books Will Self-Destruct list, and I don't want to read this right now, but looks like that's what we're doing. I'll give you guys an update soon. Okay guys, so it is a couple hours later and I am already finished with Staying Strong by Demi Lovato. I know I was less than enthused to get this pick, but it was nothing like what I expected. It's actually just a journal of sorts, so it has a quote, a little like anecdote, and then a goal for you to do. It's not necessarily supposed to be read all at once. It's goes by the days of the year, so essentially you will be reading one a day and then doing whatever the goal was. For example, they had like list 10 to 15 things that you're grateful for, or make somebody smile today, something like that. So because of the format and the things that it's discussing, I'm not going to rate this book. It does have some great advice, but it's very repetitive in the messages that it's trying to give. So I'm not going to rate it because there's really no point. It was a good read, and maybe I would recommend it to somebody who I felt like was struggling with some of the topics that are discussed in here, but honestly, it was just like a fast thing to get through. I'm happy to have it off of my list. It's definitely going to be an unhaul for me, but it ticks off a box for my These Books Will Self-Destruct list and a box off of my physical TBR, so I'm happy that I read it nonetheless. However, that means that it was definitely a saving grace for me in this challenge, because I'm on to my third and final roll and I have up until Sunday to read that. So I'm super excited to see what we'll be reading next. So I've started the screen recording, and as I said last time, I have to do the dice first and then move back to where we were on the last roll. So let's go ahead and open up the dice. Reset it to the 12, and we're gonna go ahead and roll. 10 again. Okay, so we are moving ourselves to where we were, which was the TBR jar spot, and let's move 10 from there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. A classic. Okay. Forget that I said that was my saving grace, because this just might be my ruin. I don't want to read a classic. I don't. Let me think about this. And I'll be right back. Really quick, I still haven't picked, but I just found this super funny. I was looking on Goodreads for a list of must-read classics, and one of them is green eggs and ham. Now, how funny would it be if I picked that? Because obviously I'm finishing that in five seconds. But obviously I'm not gonna pick that. It's just like, girl, why are you putting that on there? Okay, I'm finally back and I have a decision. So I had a total of 2 classics on my shelves, both of which I have read and do not want to reread at this moment. I only own them because they made such an impact on my life when I read them. And they were also required reads from school. Anyway, but I have ultimately decided to go with something that I think works and I think will help me out. And that is I Who Have Never Known Men by Jacqueline Hartman. When I look up this book on Goodreads, it says that it's a classic as one of the genres that people shelve it as. There's a couple genres before it, like science fiction and dystopian, but classic is on there, so I'm going to count it. And also, it's only 200 pages, so this should be an easy one for me to get through. On top of that, I recently discussed this in my Our Fantasy Bingo board that I plan to use this for one of the prompts. So if this can help me get it out of the way fast and early on in the challenge, I'm fine with that as well. Aside from the fact that there's really no classics that I am tempted or want to read. So we're gonna go with this one. It follows a woman or a group of women who are stuck underground and they finally get their freedom. And I guess like we're going through the motions of that. I'm not really too sure, but I did recently see Kayla from Books and Law read this and love it. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, even though classics are not my thing, that this will be a good, easy, quick read for me and I will win this round of TBR Tournament. And that will be amazing for me because I was honestly starting to think, what the hell did I read in that first round to make me win? Because every time I was just like, there's no way I could read 3 books in a week. But we're gonna make it happen this time. And so I'll see you guys when I have an update. Okay guys, so it is Friday and I have officially finished my 3rd book. I actually finished it last night, but I didn't have the energy to get on here and film an outro after finishing it. And what do I have to say about this book? So it was the synopsis that I gave. It's basically a group of 40 women who are stuck underground for reasons unknown to them. And one day an alarm blares and they are able to escape, and then you follow them and their lives, and then eventually just the main character, because she's the last one alive, through reclaiming their freedom. And specifically for the main character, it's sort of like figuring out what life actually is, because all she had ever known was the underground. So she didn't know about things like dancing and bread and normal everyday life things that a lot of us take for granted. Now, I ended up giving this book a 2-star because the last 30 pages, 5-star energy, 5-star all around, and it portrayed the message that it wanted to portray about us taking things for granted and being alone essentially in the world, and you know, a lot about women in society. That's all I needed though, and the book was 200 pages long. It was very bleak and boring and mundane, and I found myself questioning a lot, why do I care about this? And I don't know if I just missed the point, so please don't badger me if I did, because I know a lot of people love this book and gave it 5 stars. Again, classics may just not be for me. That's okay though. I still really appreciated the diversity in the picks this time around, and I'm also happy to say that I finally won another round of TBR Tournament. Thank you so much again to Silvia for having this amazing game and having it be playable in so many different forms and variations. It's super fun. I'll have all her information linked down below, so you guys can definitely go check her out. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I can't wait to see where the maze episode takes me. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.